You are now listening to RJV TV. RJV TV. RJV TV.
Sports, music, film, entertainment, fashion, gaming, technology, and even politics. Yeah, we'll talk about it. You are now watching RJV TV on Octagono. Back here one more time on RJV TV as we continue today's show. And this episode, our second episode of RJV TV, and we're going to jump right into the next topic. As you can see, this segment has an additional logo added to it. This is the El Octagono segment of RJV TV, brought to you by El Octagono. Remember, you can visit El Octagono at www.eloctagono.com. I don't even know why I said www, because you don't say that anymore, do you?
No, we don't.
Okay, and you can also follow El Octagono on Twitter and on Facebook, just looking up El Octagono. And Octagono is Octagon with an O at the end. Very easy to find. But yeah, we're going to jump right into it and jump right into what just finished happening not too long ago, and that's UFC Fight Night 27, Carlos Condit versus Martin Kampmann. Great event that was on for you for free. It started on Facebook, went on to Fox Sports 2, formerly known as Fuel TV, then jumped into Fox Sports 1, which obviously is the new sports channel of Fox, formerly Speed, and now it's Fox Sports 1 officially. So the whole fight card for free. You can't complain. And on the week leading to a pay-per-view fight, which we'll talk a little bit about as well. But UFC Fight Night 27 brought you a lot of action from the beginning. There was a no contest between Abel Trujillo from the Black Zillion camp down here in South Florida against Roger Bowling. He threw an illegal knee to the head of Roger Bowling while he was grounded, and that pretty much put him unconscious for a moment, and he couldn't continue the fight, so it ended up becoming a no contest. And at that point, Abel was winning the fight. He was pretty much controlling that point and just landed that knee on the head, and that's illegal. You can't be doing that. So that turned out to be a no contest. So no winner was announced there. Zach Cummings versus Ben Alloway ended up in a submission, a Darce choke, which ended up getting the submission of the night for Zach Cummings to finish in the first round, 4 minutes and 19 seconds into that round. The prelim card started here at Fox Sports 2 at this point, with Jason High versus James Head ending in a submission, guillotine choke in under 2 minutes of the first round. Darren Elkins faced Hatsu Hioki. Was a unanimous decision. Good little battle there, but Darren Elkins gets the victory over Hatsu. Brandon Thatch beats Justin Edwards by a TKO in the first round, 1 minute and 23 seconds into it, and that TKO earned him the bonus of knockout of the night. So he walked away a happy man as well. Dylan Andrews beats Papi Abade by knockout, third round, 1 minute and 32 seconds into that round. And obviously the action just continued there, and we jumped right to the main card on Fox Sports 1 with Brad Tavares beating Robert McDaniel by unanimous decision. Takeya Mizugaki had a great war against Eric Goyito Perez, a good friend of El Octagono, which unfortunately came up on the wrong end of this fight, losing a split decision against Takeya Mizugaki. Takeya really controlled the first and second round. The third round was a toss-up, and the judges still gave a split decision there. A lot of people were pretty convinced Mizugaki took the fight. So at least in this situation, the right person won the fight. For at least for a lot of people, they feel that the right person was chosen as the winner. Court McGee beats Robert Whitaker by split decision as well. Kelvin Gastelum, which is the tough winner from the Sonnen season, where it was Jones versus Sonnen. He was the surprise winner.
Yeah.
At that in this one, he wasn't even believed. I think Uriah Hall was the one that was believed to be the winner for a lot of people, and Kelvin Gastelum surprised him in the final fight and ended up winning that fight. And he wins his first fight outside of the tough competition against Brian Malenkov by submission, a rear naked choke, very, very well done by him, and demonstrating why he was the tough winner in the long run. Rafael dos Anjos really dominated Donald Cerrone in the first 2 rounds. A lot of people thought Donald Cerrone was going to be able to own this fight. A lot of people thought this was a mismatch for Rafael.
Yeah.
And, man, Rafael owned the first 2 rounds cleanly. Donald Cerrone started getting the pace back in the 3rd round. A lot of people know Donald Cerrone is a slow starter sometimes, and the Cowboy definitely slow started on this one and just could not finish the job in that 3rd round. If he could have finished it, then that would have been his only way to win, because at that point Rafael had already dominated the first 2 rounds enough to pretty much claim victory. But yeah, that was a unanimous decision win for Rafael dos Anjos, one of the biggest wins of his career. So this is definitely shooting him up the ladder in the UFC in the lightweight division. Now the main event. This is a rematch from a fight we saw, I believe, in 2009. Was the last time that we saw these two fight. And it was UFC Fight Night 18. Man, that was a long time ago. In 2009, and Condit ended up losing that fight. That was his promotional debut with the UFC, and he ended up losing that fight against Kampmann. And Kampmann dominated it the way he started off this one, with his wrestling. In that first round, his wrestling was the biggest factor against Condit. But Condit's done some work. Condit's done his homework. Condit studied. After that first round, he
took him to the ground as well a couple times.
Yeah, he took him to the ground as well. Didn't really control him down there, but made a point of taking him down and showing him I can take you down too.
And he got off with some of the.
But the combinations that Condit started throwing from the second round and going on were just beautiful. He was practically connecting with every punch, every kick, everything he was throwing was practically connecting. It was beautiful, beautiful work by Carlos Condit.
He had him rocked.
Yeah,
a couple times
in that
days.
Exactly, and ultimately in that fourth round, that's when he really rocked the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Put him on the back, backtracking. He was running backwards, and you can tell he was a little rocky. Wasn't really walking stable. And then he landed that knee. He landed a brutal knee, a standing knee, which dropped Kampmann to the floor. And when Condit went to throw a couple more punches, Herb Dean stepped in, stopped the fight. And Carlos Condit gets his revenge, gets the win over Martin Kampmann, and definitely puts himself in a position to possibly be in title contention soon, because that's a very big win for Carlos Condit at this point. It's a bad loss for Martin Kampmann, even though he gave a hell of a fight.
He did put up a fight, though.
No, he put up a great fight, and great enough for them to get the bonus for Fight of the Night. That's your total of bonuses. Fight of the Night was Carlos Condit versus Martin Kampmann. Knockout of the night went to Brandon Thatch for his knockout over Justin Edwards, and the submission of the night went to Zach Cummings, and that was $50,000 in the pocket of each of one of them.
Nice.
So that's always nice. It's always good to walk away with an extra $50,000 in the pocket.
In a couple minutes.
Yeah, after just maybe finishing a fight. It's always good to hear, hey, you know what, aside from your salary and aside what you're getting paid, here's a $50,000 more.
Thank you. Appreciate your hour on TV. Thank you.
Exactly. And this event took place from Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. The attendance was around 5,950 for the event. We still got to wait and see what the ratings are for this one on Fox Sports, because the first one didn't really go over as well in the ratings as they would have liked. So next step is to see what is next with these events and getting more ratings, more views. Because I'm surprised that the first event didn't have as many hits as it should have, because it was a great event. Sonnen versus Rule was a great fight. It was one of the greatest shockers I've seen in a little bit of time, seeing Sonnen submit Shogun Rua. So for those that didn't watch,
we saw that together. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was a great fight. That was a great card.
And that we mentioned too, man. Fox Sports 1, man, they're doing a great job, man. So,
yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Hey, people just gotta adapt.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Their ratings gotta go up, man. They really deserve it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much. I give a lot of props to Fox Sports 1. I've given them props online itself. They've appreciated it because they favored it a few of the things that I've put out. So I mean, it's really great to see that company come out and become a rival for ESPN, and ESPN, who's never really appreciated MMA as much as they should. It's great to have a network that's willing to take that risk and willing to push it further, and Fox is definitely doing that. Now, August 31st, what we have coming is UFC 164, Ben Henderson versus Anthony Pettis. This is going to be a rematch from the WEC title. The last event of WEC was these two guys fighting for the WEC lightweight title.
Nice.
And that's where we saw the Showtime kick, where Pettis jumped off the cage, landed that kick right on the chin of Benson Henderson, dropped him to the ground. That ultimately would be the move that won him the fight and won him the belt and make him the last champion of the lightweight division of WEC. Now, Ben Henderson is champion of the lightweight division in UFC. Anthony Pettis has been dying to fight this guy. Just things keep coming up. He had gotten injured, couldn't fight Ben Henderson. Now when he's okay, he was getting ready to fight Jose Aldo because he asked for that fight. Dana White said, okay, let's do this. Mm-hmm. And it was an interesting matchup, and then suddenly injuries caused that fight not to happen again. And Anthony Pettis had an opportunity with Ben Henderson, and here we go. We're on with this fight. Benson Henderson versus Anthony Pettis, a much-anticipated rematch. A lot of people want to see this fight again and want to see what's going to happen. This is going to be a great fight card, man. Co-main event is Frank Mir versus Josh Barnett.
Wow.
That's great. Man, that's just veterans at its best right there when it comes down to it. Veterans that are active right now. Frank Mir versus Josh Barnett. Now, Frank Mir hasn't been the Frank Mir as of late that we've loved to see. Yeah. But, I mean, to me, he's still one of my favorite guys to see in that cage. And Josh Barnett, man, a lot of people don't give him as much credit or as much props, as much respect as he deserves. To me, he's one of the greats in the heavyweight division, and I can't wait to see this matchup. These two matchups so insanely good. It's going to be a great fight. I'm expecting a good fight out of this one. You also have Chad Money Mendes versus Clay Guida. Now, if you want energy and speed and craziness, you're going to get it in Chad Mendes versus Clay Guida. And Clay Guida cannot do what he did to Anthony Pettis on taking him and holding him down to the ground, because Chad Money Mendes knows how to handle that situation.
Yeah, he gets out.
That's a strong boy.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a great matchup right there. You also have Ben Rothwell versus Brandon Vera. That's going to be another great matchup. Ben Rothwell, at times underrated. Obviously, he's not one of the best heavyweights in the UFC, but he's always a competitor, and he always brings in a lot of effort and heart into all his fights. So that's going to be a hell of a matchup against Brandon Vera, who was at one point recognized as one of the prodigies and one of the great up-and-coming stars, and then he fell off, and now he's back trying to reach that level again. And hunger is always one of the best weapons in this sport.
I'm sure it
pushes you to a next level. And then you also have a featherweight fight between Eric Koch and Dustin Poirier. This is going to be a great matchup. Dustin Poirier is trying to get back in that winning column, trying to get back into that pace that he was on before. And he can definitely do it in this fight against Eric Koch. It's going to be a very, very good fight, very entertaining. Both of these guys were definitely in title contention, and it's really going to be a very, very interesting fight. In the preliminary card, which is going to be on Fox Sports 1, Jamie Varner versus Gleason Tibau. Gleason Tibau, who trains down here in South Florida. Jamie Varner, a very, very, very well-experienced fighter. This is going to be a great matchup here. Gleason Tibau obviously is going to have a size advantage because that man is just pure muscle. But Jamie Varner is so well-experienced that it's going to be such a great fight to see. You also have Louis Gaudriot versus Tim Elliott. Another great fight in the flyweight division. Pascal Kraus versus Hyun-Gyu Lim. You have in the bantamweight division, you have Chico Camus versus King Hong Kang. And that does it for your Fox Sports 1 prelim card. In the Facebook portion, you're going to have Nikita Krylov versus Soya Paleli, Ryan Couture versus Al Aikinta, Jared Hammond versus Magnus Siddenblad. So you're going to see a couple of names you're not used to seeing. But you know what? This is going to be a very entertaining card. And this is going to be a pay-per-view you're going to want to pay the money for because it's guaranteeing action, man. That main card is on point with every single one of them. And this will take place from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is Anthony Pettis' hometown. And he'll be fighting the champion in his hometown. It will be from the BMO Harris Bradley Center. Remember, August 31st. You do not want to miss this fight card. That's what's going on right now this week with MMA. You do not want to miss what's going on with the UFC. A lot of fun things. If you missed Fight Night 27, you missed out on a great fight card. Do not miss out. UFC 164. It's going to be a very, 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 very fun fight card. You do not want to miss it. So with that, we're going to go to a quick break right here after this El Octagono segment of RJV TV. We'll be back after this break.